Hey guys, this is Rich Ehrlich. Welcome back to another episode of Rich and the Bull. I'm here as always with my good buddy Nick Fortune, commonly referred to as the Bull. We're here to help you think like the rich and sort out the bull so you can make smart and sound financial decisions. Today's episode, we're going to be talking about why everyone should own a living trust. Now I got to start out with you, Nick. You know, I talk to people all over the country. This is like one of the number one topics I hear about. Question is, do we even need a living trust? And what is a living trust? I mean, help us understand that.
Yeah, it's probably the most important document that you will ever do in your life.
Wow.
And there's a lot of misinformation about it. People think that if they don't have a lot of money, they don't need a trust, and that is absolutely not true. So when you look at a past case, the Terri Schiavo case, remember that case that happened and took place in Florida? We learned a whole lot about that. So prior to 2008, if you were married and you had assets, or if you had property together, or investment accounts, or you had a checking account together, then and one spouse passed seamlessly, the assets would pass on from one spouse to the other. In 2008, that completely changed, and what the court said was that you need to have a formal document in order to pass those assets on. It couldn't just be because of your relationship. And that is in the form of a living trust. The difference between a will and a trust, wills are directions to the probate court. You are going to go to probate, okay? You can contest them. You can fight them, you can argue them, creditors can attach to them, all these different things. Whereas a trust speaks for you when you can no longer speak.
Help us understand what exactly is a trust for our viewers that don't really know what that is.
Yeah, so, you know, like I was saying, a trust speaks for you when you can no longer speak. What are your wishes? If you were not here and you had to have a document that was run by an executor, meaning...
So a trust is like a legal document, is what you're saying.
Right.
Okay.
It's a legal structure that allows for your wishes to be created or to be perpetuated.
Fulfilled, basically, right.
And fulfilled, right. So if you had wishes, if you left children behind, who would take care of the children, right? Who would be the guardian? Who would be in control of the money for your child? For example, somebody that may be very good at taking care of your children might be horrible with money. Somebody that is really good with money might be horrible with children. Those are different people. What would happen if you had an issue and there was, say, a medical emergency, right? And you were incapacitated. Who's going to poke on you? Are they going to poke on you, prod on you, cut on you, test medicines? God forbid you had to get on life support or taken off life support. What would you do for that? Financial power of attorney. What happens if you have investment accounts or checking accounts or need to deal with creditors or the hospital system, right? If you had bills or something like that, accessing cash, accessing your financial vehicles that you're involved in.
You know, Nick, I see quite often people come to me and they say they have a trust or a will put together, and I ask them, I say, when did you put this together? I hear, 1983. Often, it's from a different state that they live in. How important is that, and how often should people be reviewing these documents?
Well, we've had a series of changes that have happened inside of this country in just the last decade. There's been many changes, and the most important thing that somebody can do is update their trust. Right?
How often? What would you suggest?
Every couple years, or especially after a law change, and you'll hear those things on the news, or maybe you'll get lucky and your financial planner or your tax professional will talk to you about these things. But every couple years, that's one thing that we really do inside of our office. Every couple years, when an estate plan is done, we'll contact them every few years and make sure that they understand the rules and what have you. A lot of the structures that we see as far as the estate planning goes, a lot of these people today that you will go to that have been in the business for so long are actually doing structures back from 20 years ago.
Wow.
They're setting up the same language and things and the same ideas and going at it the same way as they did 20 years ago. And things are vastly different today.
Wow.
And it's important to stay on the cutting edge of what it is that you're doing with your estate, where you're sending money to, how you want to pass things on, and taking care of your legacy.
You know, one of the upcoming episodes we're going to be talking about is focusing and reviewing beneficiaries. And I cannot tell you how often I see this, Nick, where people have substantial accounts, let's say in their IRAs or their 401ks that could be $1 million or more. And people erroneously think that because they have it listed in their will or trust, that those are the beneficiaries, but a spouse gets divorced and the other unintended spouse gets the money, and it's a horror show. Yeah. So you talk about, you know, when you're supposed to review these things, it's really something that's so uncommon, and you know, I find, at least what I've seen, is that the people that are handling these accounts, they don't really care about that. That's not their goal and objective. So I think you see that.
One major issue that you will run into always if you have a split family. We're seeing more and more split families today, where you have two divorced couples. You know, somebody has a couple kids on one side, somebody has a couple kids on the other side, and they get together and there's no planning done. And then something happens and there's all out war, okay? Right. If you don't want this to happen in your family, especially if you had a prior marriage and you got newly divorced, or if you were married and now you're single, you need to have your estate changed. If you were married before and you're getting married again and you're having a collective family, it's so important that you put these documents together so that there's no infighting, so that you keep the peace. And with a trust, your wishes are permanent. It's not a temporary thing. You can't fight it, you can't argue it, and it allows that seamless transfer of assets to go where you want it to go without argument or issues.
Right. You know, I'd like to ask everybody here, you know, think about when was the last time you reviewed your beneficiaries. I mean, nobody does that, and quite frankly, think about having all of this money, and because a simple stroke of a pen, you could have had such an impact.
Look at all the health provisions that have happened. You have the new Health Care Act, you got the HIPAA compliance, you got the medical provisions, you got all these different things. And not only do you have them federally, but you also have state-specific issues. And so that's very important, that you get dialed into your state.
Right.
What exactly is it that are the rules that govern what you can and can't do inside of your estate, and that you dial in your documents and your plan specifically to meet where you are. And it's not about where you were, it's where you are now. So when I met a couple in a restaurant the other day who were from Ohio and they now live in Florida, well, Florida is a better place to die, right? And they said they still had an Ohio trust. What should I do? And the answer is simple. You are no longer there. Right. You are in a new place. Why don't you go out there and change your documents that collectively deal with the fact of where you are now, not where you used to be? And that's all about being proactive on this stuff. And I know this topic seems boring, but you will realize that you may have already in your previous experiences, you had a loved one pass away, your mother passed away, your father passed away, and this huge burden was given to you. And it about probably destroyed you. And if you don't want to do that to your loved ones, to your family, this is the way that you do this. And guys, we do this program for you. This program is built specifically for all of you watching us today so that you don't make those same mistakes.
You know, I really go back and I commend all of our viewers here, because you're taking a proactive approach. You are saying, you know what, there's an issue there that you want to, make right. And I go back again, Nick, I say this every time, when do you want to make these decisions, right? If there was a missing piece of information in your financial lives that was costing you a lot of money or potentially costing you a lot of money in the future, when do you want to know this, right? Do you want to know it before you invest or after? And that is the theme, and that's what Rich and the Bull is about. It's about having us as financial coaches guide you through this and help you make those decisions, because guess what? You guys are smart. You just need the guidance to help you go through that.
And please feel free to reach out to us, okay? We offer a free consultation. We love to work with you, but we need to see your work product and what it is that you're doing in order to help you. And remember, guys, don't keep our information a secret. You need to like and follow us on Facebook. Always remember to subscribe to our new YouTube channel, like, share, comment on our videos. Tell us, what is it that you like? What is it that you don't like? Are there topics? These topics, these stories, these videos, they're for you. So we want to hear from you. And when you go ahead and comment on our videos, you're going to be entered into a raffle for a $25 Amazon gift card. Stay tuned for our next episode. Remember to always take the bull by the horns. Don't mess with the bull, but do share our information with your family, loved ones, and friends. And we look forward to seeing you in our very next video. Thank you.